Welcome back to Cabin View Ventures. My name is Nick, and thanks for joining me today. So we are right in between Christmas and New Year's, so I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. We live in Pennsylvania. We're just outside of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and the weather here has been a mess so far this fall and winter. It is another unusually warm day. We're like in the mid to upper 40s. It rained yesterday. It rained this morning. I got a little break in the weather right now, which is why I want to try to get some wood split. But we got a lot more rain coming tonight and the next 2 days. So it has just been unusually warm and raining nonstop. So we are like, everything's just a muddy mess, which I absolutely hate more than anything. I hate working in mud. So let me know where you guys live and how your weather is, because I'm really hoping things change here soon and we finally get into winter, get everything to freeze up, and hopefully we get a little bit of snow. The big thing I want to get done today, and if you guys have been watching, the last two videos have been about making these firewood totes. So I made two so far, and I really just want to try these things out and see how they hold up, and if I can move them with my Kubota, my L3901. So I've got one firewood tote behind me here that is just going to be for oak, red and white oak. Now, I split my oak pretty small, so that should be ready to go next winter. But just in case it's not, it's going to be all in its own tote, so I can let that go as long as it needs to until it's seasoned. And then the rest of my totes are going to be mixed hardwood. So, mainly in this one, I have maple, cherry, a little bit of hackberry, and I think there's a little bit of locust in that pile behind me. So what we're going to do is, right now this one's a third of the way filled, so we're going to split the rest of the wood I need to fill this up and then see how we can move it with the tractor. It's as heavy as these mixed totes are going to get, because this stuff is wet from all the rain we've been getting, and it's wet wood in general. It's non-seasoned wood, so if the tractor can move these, then we are going to be good to go to keep building more of these wood crates. And I've actually gotten a lot of good comments from you guys and a lot of good ideas. So these seem to be a pretty popular way to build totes off of these skids. And like I said, they're relatively cheap, they're easy to build, and I really appreciate the comments and the questions we're getting about them, because like I said, I've gotten some good ideas from you guys on how to maybe change these up in the future. But first thing we want to do is just try these out and make sure they're gonna hold up and I can move them with the tractor I have, because that's another big part of it. I don't want to have to go out and buy a bigger piece of equipment to move these. So if the tractor can't move them, we're gonna have to redesign them, maybe make them a little bit smaller, whatever it takes, because ultimately I want to handle this firewood as little as possible. I want to be able to cut it up, split it, and put it right into the tote, so I'm not handling it anymore, and then just move it with the tractor to where I'm going to let it dry until it's seasoned. So that kind of leads me into a question I want to ask you guys, and that is how you manage tasks on your property. I always have a lot going on. Just with having a rural property in general, you have a lot of maintenance to do, and then projects that I have on top of that. And I am always bouncing around from one project to the next. I have constantly struggled with just staying focused on one thing and getting that done. Like this pile of firewood poles behind me, for example, there's probably about 2 cords of firewood in there, so not a ton. That's something that you could work on over 2 or 3 days, and you can probably get that whole thing cut up, split, stacked, and be done with it. But I have been working on that for several weeks now, because I cannot stay focused on just that one thing. Now, the weather also plays into it. With all the rain we've been getting, it's been hard to get out here and just get this cut up and split. But how do you guys prefer to work? Do you like to just stay focused on one project and get that done and then move on to your next one, or do you like to bounce around? So I obviously like to bounce around. I think my brain's just wired that way. I don't know if I could ever stay focused on just one thing or one task, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what is the best way to go about it. Maybe it's good to bounce around a little bit, or maybe it's good to just stay focused on one thing. So let me know in the comments below. All right, let's get the splitter fired up. While that's warming up, I'm gonna go back and probably split up some of those bigger rounds with the my steel splitting axe, and then we will get this thing loaded up. Man, look at that ugly thing. I don't know if you're gonna be able to get that or not. I think it's just one solid knot. Maybe. Nope. Oh, look at that. You can hear it. You can hear it as you're splitting it. This thing doesn't stick very good. It's not sharp enough to stick. Oh man. That is some nasty stuff. This thing is all knot. Whew. But if you hit it in a couple different spots, you can hear when it's starting to, you can kind of hear where it's going to split. I don't know how to explain it. Like if it just bounces off, you can hear it'll sound like really solid. Like that's not gonna split. Ah, maybe. Yeah, see? I can hear how it changed. You can almost hear it going down through that log. Whew. See that? Oh, right through that knot. Now, it's gonna be about it. We'll have to just try to split that one down the middle. Yeah, that is solid. It's like you hear right there, that first hit, that wasn't a good spot. That was okay. That was a good chunk. If you're out of shape, you want to get back on that workout plan, it's probably a lot cheaper to buy firewood and split it. I mean, what's a gym membership cost for a year versus buying yourself a good $100 splitting axe? You can buy them a lot cheaper than that, and then go buy yourselves a truckload of firewood that needs split. You're gonna get in good shape quick. You're gonna build muscle. You're gonna burn fat. And you can do it all at home. And then you can sell the firewood and make some of your money back. Or you can burn it and heat yourself, heat your house, or you can give it away to somebody that needs it, and you'll feel good about yourself doing that. So either way you're gonna do something that makes you feel good. Man, this stuff is wicked. Wicked. Nah. I didn't want to hit that last little piece and drive my axe down into the mud. We got plenty to fill that tote up with. Plenty. And I can hear how out of shape I am right now, because I should not be winded after splitting a couple pieces of firewood. But I am. So we're gonna split a lot more by hand, get back in shape. It's just fun to do, it feels good, warms you up on a cold day. And let me tell you, swinging in a splitting axe versus a mole that could weigh 10 pounds is a lot easier and a lot more fun. I hate splitting moles, hate them. These are a lot more enjoyable, and they split better. Now this is that locust. the ground's soft too, which does not help when you're splitting on the ground. Ah, missed. Keep your axe out of the mud. All right, guys, you saw it. It did not work. So kind of a double failure today. I got rained out. It's been pouring for like the last half hour, so I'm soaked. That was no fun splitting the last part of that wood to fill that tote with. and the Kubota L3901. It's a 40 horsepower compact tractor. It's got about 1,000 pound lift capacity on the front loader, and we could not move that firewood tote. Now, that firewood tote is loaded. Like I said before, those are 48 by 40 inch skids. The cage I put on them is built to hold a face cord of firewood. So that tote loaded up with unseasoned wood, and it's pretty rain soaked as well. Probably weighs well over 2,000 pounds. So, you know, it was a pretty tall task to even attempt that, but like we saw, it does not work. So, you know, we'll have to find another way around it. You know, I'm not going to go out and buy a bigger tractor. We're not going to give up on it by any means. You know, maybe we just fill them halfway, and then I put the rest of it into the side-by-side, drive it up to the tote, and stack them. You know, you're still not handling the firewood too many times, because ultimately, you know, you want to limit how many times you're moving the firewood, so you have more time to split more wood, right? So we'll figure out a solution, and you guys will see it once I figure it out. You know, until then, we've got a lot of stuff coming up. So if you guys like the content, please subscribe, hit that like button. I love the questions and comments, so keep them coming. But we've actually got a pretty big project I want to start fairly soon. I am actually going to tear down this building and rebuild it. So I'll give you more details on that in another video, but we're going to be working on that this winter. I got a lot more firewood content coming up, and we also need to get up in the trails, you know, clear them, and I've got a lot of wood up there to cut and bring down. I also have a really nice white oak. I actually cut a big chunk out of a white oak tree that came down last year, and I want to mill some of that into slabs. So we're going to do some milling with the Alaskan sawmill coming up soon as well. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining me, and I will see you on the next one.